welcome back everyone to another video. My name is Brandon Tobias. It's an honor to have you here on this channel. And if you're new to me, I'm a spiritual coach and intuitive healer, and I'm here to help you navigate your spiritual union, your spiritual relationship, and help you come together with the person that God has for you on earth. And when I say God, I mean the consciousness of the universe. I want to first share that the reason this video is coming out is because my job here on earth, what I've discovered as a spiritual channeler and intuitive guide and all the things that I like to call myself, is to channel messages for you watching the collective at the right time to let you know what God has for you. And many people who watch my channel are wondering at this very moment in time why they have to wait. Why do you have to wait? Why you are in this quote unquote waiting period for your person in this lifetime. And I'm going to refer to your person as, in my label, my term, right, that I've been channeled, what I've received from God and my guides and my intuition is the twin soul connection. This is the person in my heart of hearts and opinion is the person that God, the consciousness of the universe, wants you to marry. Okay? And those of you who are new to me as well, when I say God, of course, although I love all religions and I seek truth in all religions, my experience of God is uniquely my experience. So I don't follow any specific religion. When I entered into the spiritual relationship that I now call the twin soul relationship, when I first entered into that relationship, the energy of God, the only thing that it labeled itself as and felt for the first time in my life, it labeled itself as God. And that energy entered into my life the moment I met my person in this lifetime. And has continued. God has continued to stay in my life ever since that moment. And this is why I say the twin soul connection is the one where this is the person that God wants you to marry. And one thing I believe is that God has his hand, the consciousness of the universe, the will of all that is and was and ever will be, has his hand, is orchestrating you and your person coming together in this lifetime, in this moment in time. And so today's video is actually going to share with you the straight up answer that you need to know as to why you need to wait and why you are waiting to come together with your person in this lifetime. And I want to be clear before we get into things, we're going to jump right in. This is a timeless message. So whenever you happen to watch this video, God intends it for you. The consciousness of the universe needs you to know this message. Okay, so it's a timeless message. And this is whether or not you are together with the person that you know God wants you to marry in this lifetime, whether you are separated from that person, or whether you have no idea who the heck that is or what I'm talking about. This is probably what God needs you to know. Okay, so just keep that in mind wherever you're at in your situation, your personal situation. This is meant to apply for you. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, first thing I want to share with everyone in this moment in time, and that God has told me to share with my audience, is that if you feel you are in this waiting period for you and your twin soul to come together, you and the person God wants for you to come together, and you feel like you're either waiting for them, or maybe they feel like they're waiting for you, or you're just waiting for the relationship to come together. Although waiting is a thing, what God wants to share with all of us is that it's really not so much that we're waiting, it's rather that there's more work to be done in this process of waiting for things to come together. Okay. So let me unpack that really quick because there's a lot of things that are in that. Okay. So I want to unpack that really quickly, then we'll keep moving forward. Okay. The word waiting, right? When we use the term waiting right now, that is simply referring to the fact that God has a person for you. You're like, I want to be with the person that God wants me with. Either you know that person right now or you don't know who that person is. Wherever you're at is okay. But I want that person. Okay. You're sure about that. And so in one sense, you're waiting for you and God, for you to be together with that person, okay, in the right timing. Meaning you're not necessarily out there looking for other people or dating or trying to find and search for the person. Because let me tell you, that rarely ever works. Okay. When you and your person are meant to come together in this lifetime, you will naturally just find a way together, just effortlessly. Okay. So it's really more about that's what we mean by waiting. But in the quote unquote waiting period, there's, of course, and definitely, and God wants to remind all of us right now that there is work to be done. If you are waiting, it means you should be working. Okay, that's exactly what he wrote down here for me on my notes here, which is waiting actually equals working. Okay, and so you might say, okay, well, I'm working a job, Brandon. I have my money or my 9 to 5, or I'm studying this thing, or I'm getting my degree, whatever it is you're doing, right? I'm working, right? So what work does God mean by working? Or I'm already working, right? So what else could he mean? What else do I need to do? And there's one word in particular that God gave me to share with everyone watching today for you to know and you to embody is, and that one word is expression. Expression. Okay, so it all comes down to this thing that God is calling expression. Specifically, what does he mean by expression? God means to ask yourself this one question. In your life right now, what area of your life feels like you are currently not expressing yourself or all of yourself in a way that you naturally do inside right now, yearn to do? Okay. Let's go back and repeat that a little bit. In what area of your, so let's define expression first before we move forward here. So expression is simply giving or sharing parts of yourself in a way that is self-fulfilling. Okay, that's what we were missing. Giving or sharing parts of yourself in a way that is self-fulfilling and that is of service also to others in the world. So it's of service to yourself because it's self-fulfilling, and of course, as a byproduct of that, it's also of service to the world. That's what we mean by expression. Okay? So follow me here. So the question to ask yourself now is, in what area or in what way, you can also reframe this, in what area or what way in my life right now have I not expressed all of my full self that I have had or currently have a yearning and a deep burning desire to do so in, to do so within? Okay? What area in my life right now have I not expressed, meaning taken some action that is both self-fulfilling and a service for the world and service for others, all of my full self that I've had or have currently a yearning, a deep burning desire to do so in? Okay? That's the first question. Where does my soul, you can ask yourself, want to give itself? Okay, another way to frame this. Where right now does my soul want to give of itself? Okay, what area of your life? And then subsequently be received by others. Okay, right, as we mentioned, as an act of service that is then equally reciprocated back upon me, upon you watching, effortlessly. Okay, those are the specific, this is probably, it's not the most important part of being told, but it's one of the key points of this video, which is right now, if you are not in union with your person, the main reason God is saying right now at this moment in time, whenever you happen to watch this video, it is because there's some area in your life that has not been fully or freely expressed to the greatest extent that it can be for yourself and for the world. Okay? For yourself and for the world. Meaning, as you give of yourself to others to be received by others, it's also fulfilling you because it's a natural yearning of expression. Meaning, by doing it itself, the act of doing it is fulfilling yourself. Okay? This is true. What God wants to say is this is true service. This is truly both leadership and service. Okay. Now, for who I'm talking to, you all are leaders. You are what we call the twin soul leaders, right? And previous videos I've talked about the twin soul connection is coming together here on earth to lead the rest of the world into their relationship life, right? Into their purpose, into their destiny. And what I've realized is the whole purpose of this channel that you're watching here now is actually to help you navigate your spiritual union, yes, and come together with the person that God has for you, but so that you can be of greater service to yourself and to others. You see? That's the whole reason why this channel exists. That's what it's dedicated. Every single video I've realized subconsciously, even if I haven't mentioned it in the video, is for that reason. So it's helping you find out how you're of greater service to yourself and to the world. And we're going to get into why that's so important for your relationship in this lifetime, okay? God was very clear about that, okay, in this particular video. For now, I want you to look at what area have I not fully expressed that I have a yearning to do so, that is self-fulfilling. It fulfills me and it is a service to others, that others can receive me. And what area is not being currently fully expressed in that right now in this moment. So I want you to stop the video, ask yourself that question. Where is that at for you? And we're going to get into why, but basically that's going to be an area of either numbness, right, inside of your body, or deadness or numbness or slow death and decay. And the reason why is because any area in our life, right, God continues, any area in our life that has a lack of expression, any area or part of ourself that there's a lack of expression in, is actually a death. It's a slow death and decay. Slow death and decaying process inside of and outside of ourselves. So any area, every part of ourselves, okay, that has a yearning of expression, a burning desire of expression, but it's not being expressed. You're not allowing it to be expressed, or you haven't found it yet, or you haven't, there's something preventing it. That part of you, okay, part of you inside, internally, externally, is going to start to die. It's going to decay. It's going to decay faster. You're going to age faster, right? Physiologically. Okay, that's the energy of it. Because service and self-fulfillment is an ever-sustainable energy source. When we do that, when we find the parts of ourselves that yearn to be expressed and express them as an act of service for ourselves and others, that's an ever-sustainable. That is the key to sustainable, energetic beingness here on Earth. That's like imagine it's like a fountain of energy that you can infinitely draw off of. Okay. It's why some people who live the longest, they live the longest, not necessarily because of amazing diet and all that stuff. There's people who live well over 100 and they smoke and they don't eat the best. It's because they are just being or doing or working something that just gives them life. And if you go, I've watched a lot of interviews with people who are well in the hundreds, and it's like they have this spring to them because they're still working. They're still doing something that really fulfills them or is an act of service to others. Okay, so this is the secret to young life. Okay, outside of all the anti-aging, believe me, I was an anti-aging specialist. I work for a health and wellness company that promoted that. And this is the true fountain of youth from what I've found. And I found even myself, right? Like I feel like I'm younger now in spirit than in some earlier years. So that's maybe another video. But where is there a lack of expression within you that you feel, okay, is slowly dying or decaying, that you can turn back on, okay? You can turn back on and light that fire within in order to start expressing that, so that you can jump into or start receiving this ever sustainable energy of life force. Okay. And we can call it whatever you want to call it, life force, energy of the universe, God, whatever your name for it is in particular. At this time, so we're going to go back into kind of more of a channeled moment, right? So whenever you watch this is what you needed to hear. But right now, at the current challenge for this collective, you watching in love specifically, or spiritual relationships or spiritual union, is to learn, okay? It's to learn how to express and or be all of yourself fully before you come into union with your person, and then also subsequently during that destined relationship, and to learn to never ever surrender doing or being that, whatever it is you're learning to be and do sustainably that is self fulfilling for you and for the world, no matter what happens, no matter whether you're together with that person, not together with that person, no matter what happens, you have found your source of limitless, fully self sustaining energy for yourself and for others. Okay, that you can draw deep within and will sustain you no matter what happens, okay, for your relationship. Energetically speaking, we're talking about energy. This doesn't have to be necessarily about money, although it can be. We're talking about your energy and will to live and thrive and express, and the energy you bring into yourself and subsequently your relationship. Okay, so now we're going to get into the part where it's really important that you understand this, because this is the number one question that I feel is being asked right now. Well, why am I still waiting for my person? What is this? What is going on? And they're taking so long. And what am I doing anything wrong? It's like, first of all, no, you're not doing anything wrong. But if you go into a relationship, if you right now, okay, you who may have not found or been or come together with your person at this moment in time, or you're not together with them, you're separated, whatever your situation is, okay? If there's any part of you that has a lack of expression and it's going through a slow death because you're not bringing the expression, you're not bringing the life to it, that it hasn't found its way to light, whether you want it to, whether it's your preference to do this or not, that energy within you will lead the relationship with you and your person to a slow death unless you find exactly what that is within you and you learn to fully express that part of you, okay, within and, of course, independent of your God-given relationship. That's the truth. That's the truth. Particularly if you were with a person and that ended and it's, whatever your situation is, okay, it just means that you and or your person, and I don't want you guys in the comments to say, oh, this is just about my person. It's like, whenever you are with a person and you observe things about them, you're like, oh, they could fix that, they could be better at that, or they're not doing this thing right. It's like, trust me when I say that is a reflection back to you. It just may be in a different area of life. Okay, I'm just telling you, you and your twin soul are perfect mirrors of each other. It's not, oh, I'm waiting for my person to be ready so I can finally be with them. It's like, no, your person, if they're not ready, it means you're not ready too. Okay, that's the truth. And I'm gonna, people aren't gonna like me for saying that, but that's the truth. God will put you with your person when both you and your person are ready. And when you and your person have found your way of being individually, independently fulfilled and accessing that infinite energetic source, okay, of sustainable energy, infinite energy within yourself to then bring into a relationship. And then obviously that those two energies just expand. They just expand into infinite, right? Ad infinitum. But if even one of you has an area in your life that, even if you don't want to look inside it, admit, oh, this, okay, yeah, I can kind of see Brandon's thought with Brandon. I really have always wanted to do this, and I just haven't, and maybe I didn't do that because of my relationship or because I didn't have time with my job or something. It's like, that's what we're talking about. Like, you got to find that. Okay, you got to find that. Assume. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to assume, if you're not with your person right now, that there is something within you that is not fully expressed. That is exactly, you want to know? You really want to know the answer. And maybe some of you don't. Why you're not with your person. That is the true answer. Okay? That's the only answer. All right? And that's the message I have for today. That you have to find that part of yourself first. Gain access to that infinite energy source within yourself where you can continue to serve and self-fulfill ad infinitum within yourself, and then keep that, right? And be able to commit to that, whatever that is for you, right? Your primary way of expression for the world. Okay, and I'm gonna share. I'll have an offering at the end of this video to help you with that if you're struggling with that. So stay tuned for that. But the whole point of this video, to simplify everything, is that, again, if you go into a relationship and you have not, and most of you, again, if you're watching this, most of you have not found that yet, or you found it but you haven't fully been able to find the way you're meant to give to it, right, or be it or represent it in a sustainable way. If you go into a relationship before that process is done, again, that lack of expression will actually go towards the slow death and decay of not just the part of you that we're talking about, but the relationship itself. Okay. That's the raw, real truth. And so God wants you to find that first. He wants you to create energetic sustainability within your own self and your own expression and your own life first, so that you can go throughout life and say, I love my person. I can't wait to be together with them. I know God has a person that's destined for me. However, whenever that happens is fine with me, because I have this source of expression that I can be, do, and fulfill within myself. And I know that that's only going to be highlighted and complemented by me coming together with my person, as opposed to replacing it, okay, or being taken away from in that way. So to sum everything up and to start to wrap up this video, because I don't want to drone this point on anymore, but it's to let you know that if you're not in your relationship right now, if God has not given you the relationship that you've always wanted within your life, the one thing that you can and must do in this moment in time, before you come into your relationship, okay, with the person that God wants you, is to seek within and to see and ask yourself and find what area you are not expressing currently fully to the world, that you can do, that you want to do, that is here, that will serve you, serve the world, and also subsequently serve your relationship. If you have not found that yet, or you have not fully brought that out for the world yet, okay, that is your answer. That's your message to you. That's the answer. That's why God right now does not have you together with your person. And so, final message for today's video. Just want it to be known that my goal, and I believe God's goal with today's video and today's expression, is just to be a reminder that if you are not yet together with your person, and you are in this position and you feel like you're just waiting around, or you feel like, you're just either waiting on your person or your situation, you don't know what's going on, right? And you want to know what you can do to actually create union, okay? Create union within yourself and move the process along to be able to come together with the person that God wants for you. That there is at this time more work and more self-discovery to be done, and that once that work is done, you and your person will come effortlessly together to continue, okay, doing each of your individual work and expression side by side together, and also to create a whole new one by the other side, okay, together. It's going to be fantastic. Like, this is happening. This is what's going on Earth right now. It's been consistently channeled to me for a long time now, over the past 5 years at least, and still is being channeled to me today. So this is happening. I'm watching it happen in real time. I don't know if you guys and gals are watching it yourself, but people who are really here to change the world by coming together, by being in a relationship, right? Spiritual relationships here on Earth. Not a lot of people talk about it, but they're definitely a thing. Many people, like celebrities even, right, are starting to talk about or represent kind of more of a deeper way of being together on this earth. And really, I believe that's because God intends the next few generations or waves of relationships to unite the earth, and the energy of true love to really be the catalyzing force to change the world into a better place, into a more godly place. And what I mean by godly is just the highest possibility for the earth and for the world around us, and for everyone to have what it is they need and what they've always wanted in this lifetime. Okay. One thing I want to address very specifically, you might say, well, Brandon, what if I do this work and my person doesn't do this work? Now what happens? If you do this work that we're talking about, and the person that you feel or you felt or you think is your person doesn't do any of this same work that you're doing, then that is not your person. Okay? Plain and simple. The person that God has for you will be doing this work exactly as you are doing it, completely aligned with you, whether you realize it or not. And if you thought it was one person and they're not doing that work and you're doing this work, then God has another person for you. Okay? That's the honest, raw truth. So, whatever you think, I want you to let go of your thoughts, let go of your expectations, focus on you, focus on your self expression and discovery, and let the rest be in God's hands. And this is the one way that you have control. You have control over this process. You're not just floating around in the universe, right? It's by your work and self-discovery and your self-expression that is ever sustainable, that you can bring for yourself, for the world, and also for your relationship. And how you can get out of this mode of just kind of searching for or waiting for your person indefinitely, because let me tell you, that just doesn't work. Okay. Yes, you have to wait and be patient, generally speaking, for relationships. But if that's all you're doing is just waiting or even searching for the one and all that, that's not going to work. Okay. It's about you working on this part of yourself first. And then God can just give you your person, right? Relatively effortlessly. Things will flow from there. Okay. But that's the exact reason. Many of you were asking, what is the reason that I'm waiting for my person or we haven't come to a union? This is the reason. Okay. And one last thing is, and just so you all know, is like you might ask, well, how long into this process do I have to do or wait in order to find my person or to be with my person? And the answer to that, actually, God wants me to tell you all this answer, is that whatever it is you are finding within yourself or your expression or wherever you haven't expressed or your way of self-discovery, you will come together with your person when you are far enough along in your both discovery and fulfillment or expression of that part of yourself that's been unexpressed for a long time, so that the momentum of that is locked in, right? Like it's never going to go away. You know, you're on it. You're on the path. There's no reason for you to ever stop it. And it's got plenty of momentum to take off, so that whatever happens, whether a person comes in your life, you get married, you have kids, you travel the world or whatever, you still are on your path side by side with your person. And that your path then will complement the joint purpose that you and your person have together in this lifetime. Okay, so the answer is far enough along, specifically, I'm just channeling for you, far enough along in your individual expression that is meant to fulfill you and the world as an act of service, so that it's like 3/4 of the way, right? To where it's like far enough along where it's not going back, right? The momentum is going and it's not stopping. It's like that is the ideal time for God to send you your person, for God to unite you with your person, okay? Where both of you are in that way of ever sustainable living expression, and you're doing the thing, you're expressing in a way you're of service that is infinitely sustainable in all the ways that your life needs right now. When you are about 3/4 down the way of that train is gone and it's never coming back, and you know I'm able to commit to that and sustainable for me in every way, that is when you can then bring that part of you into a relationship, because that combined with your person's is again what creates infinity and also will fuel the joint purpose that you two have together in this lifetime. All that being said, I hope this helps you. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to helping all of you in future videos. Namaste, my friends, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to leave your experience of this video in the comments below, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.